I remember speaking to you at a friend's wedding.
Yeah.
Neither one of us had kids, but it was something that we wanted, or like it's kind of floating around a bit, and just having a conversation about it. And then fast forward 2 years, I have a 2-year-old, and now you have a how old is baby girl?
She's 5 months this month.
Now, right?
Yeah.
How you doing?
Yeah, I'm going. It's going. I'm doing all right. Yeah, it's constant, and nothing can prepare you. Remember me tell you.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Milk and Mummies. I am Rachel, your host, and today I am with...
Hi, I'm Cherri. Hi, I'm Cherri V.
Just Cherri V. Cherri, do you want to tell us a bit about yourself and what it is that you do?
I'm a singer-songwriter / content creator. Yeah, and a mum.
There we go. It was mad. I was thinking about this yesterday because I don't often do intros per se. I let the guests tell us about themselves.
Yeah.
But I was thinking, okay, no, maybe this time I would do the intro.
Yeah.
And I was trying to list the things that you would do. Yes, you're a mum. Yes, you're a singer. Yeah. But you're also a writer. You're a content creator.
Yeah.
You also have your own podcast, don't you?
No, I mean...
Yeah.
I've done it in a very long time. But yeah, I mean, maybe there's a new one brewing somewhere.
There we go. Exactly. And then I was also trying to think about, like, there must be other things that I'm sleeping on. I'm sure there is.
No.
No?
No.
Okay. Because I was like, oh my gosh, there's more. I know there is, but okay, cool.
No, because I think like being a singer-songwriter takes up so much because there's just so many different spaces that we do what we do, like whether it's like corporate, original music, session singing, songwriting, like just so many different things, isn't it? So it takes up a lot of our time, and obviously now being mum, that's taken up most of the time.
All the time.
Yeah.
No, I'm super excited to explore this with you. Before we get into motherhood, I guess I would love to understand a bit about, I guess, who you were and what you did before motherhood. You know?
I think I was just so... I don't want to use the word caught up. Don't want to use the word caught up.
Okay.
But I was just 100%, 365 days a year performing artist. Okay. Touring every corner of the world. Creative. And that's how I spent most of my time. Okay. Just throwing caution to the wind and just throwing myself at so many different things, like lots of genres.
Which is dope, like exploring the whole breadth of music as much as you could, right?
Yeah. And just a little bit of content creation here and there. Yeah. So before motherhood, I guess it was just a bit more time to explore all the ideas that came to my mind, and also just like traveling on a whim. Like just like, can you go to Japan tomorrow?
Yes, I can.
Yes, I can.
And even your own personal travel, if you just wanted to go, you could.
Yeah. So just literally just like full-time creative mode touring musician.
For those who don't know, how did you get into music? How did music become your full-time job?
I went to the schools. I did the whole like Brit school thing. I did Sylvia Young, part-time. I always knew I wanted to perform. I first started out as a dancer, and then kind of like I didn't study music in school heavily because I just felt like it was something that came naturally to me. That just sounds so egoic, innit? I didn't study it because I just had it all in the pan.
It was in me.
I didn't need to read a book about it. So I just kind of like the dancing kind of took me mostly. But after that, I just kind of slowly started to get into writing and recording music in my late teens, and then I had a whole girl group situation in my early 20s, and then like a major label thing, and when that went bust and like I was on the floor crying my eyes out, that kind of like got a little bit of strength in me to launch myself as an independent artist via MySpace. Anybody remembers that? Right? And just carried on just like releasing music and gigging on every stage that I could in London, and it just kind of grew from there.
Okay. Did you always know you wanted to be a mum?
No.
Okay.
No. I No, what I'm trying to say is
Yeah.
I didn't always want to be a mum.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think for a lot of my early 20s, I was like, nope, nope.
Not for you. Done that.
Yeah.
Any reason why?
Because I guess I just had like all these ideas about travel and about like being an artist and about like just giving all my time to that. And at that time, I wasn't ready.
Fair.
I wasn't ready for quite a long time. And it was all about me feeling safe enough to go down that road, you know?
Yeah. That makes perfect sense, for sure. What changed your mind to want to become a mum?
Big part of it is the relationship that I'm in now.
Yeah.
And I've just done so much.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't think I can look back now and be like, oh my God, I wish. In terms of career-wise and like things I want to do and what I know about the music industry, whether it's from the premise of being an artist, independent artist, or being in function bands, or being a session singer, or doing syncs, or doing songwriting camps, or so many different things, jingles, adverts, like all the rest of it. I know so much about it, experience so much of it that I don't feel like I'm missing out.
Okay.
So I just feel like I just reaching that perfect place in my life where I'm just like, I'm actually ready to kind of chill on a lot of things.
Yeah. Okay.
And happy with the experience that I've had. Like,
That's
so
dope.
grateful.
Yeah. And there's no sense of not missing out is the wrong word. I think you've been very clear. You are ready to enter into a new phase of life, right? That's it. So is there ever any sort of not debate, but is there ever like a debate of, oh, I will I be able to do X, Y, and Z now that I'm in this space or not? Do you know what I mean?
Always, because there's always, I think, when you're creative, you just get ideas, don't you? You get loads of it, and I'm getting ideas still now about whether it's like the whole content creation side of things, or like me as an artist, or do I still want to do music the same way, or whatever. There's so many ideas that I have, so it's just like I have to balance now in terms of like. I don't know, like back in the day, like before I was a mum, I'd have an idea about, I don't know, I want to do a song about such and such. I just call up said producer. Next day I'm in the studio. We wrap it up. Then I'm doing the visuals, and it's like bang, 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 bang. Yeah. But now it's like you just got to pace yourself, isn't it? And even I think sometimes that's better because then you plan more. Yeah. And then you like, you know, you to pay attention to a few more details, and you're just like, okay, I need have this window. What can I do in this window? And what is most meaningful for me to do now? Yeah. You know what I mean?
You are now so focused is the word I'm going to use. You have to be so laser focused now because your time is just very different. Your time is not your own, or whatever it is that you're juggling and balancing. So focus and understanding you have 2 hours or 30 minutes or whatever the time frame is to make sure you get your important things done, because once that window closes,
gone.
When's the next one? Yeah. So no, that's really great to hear. What I love right now about this moment is I remember speaking to you at a friend's wedding. Yeah. Neither one of us had kids, but it was something that we wanted, or like it's kind of floating around a bit, and just having a conversation about it. And then fast forward 2 years, I have a 2-year-old, and now you have a how old is baby girl?
She's 5 months this month.
Right? Yeah. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm going. It's going. I'm doing all right. Yeah,
good. I'm glad.
I feel like I'm out of the first trench.
Okay.
I'm not even going to say I'm out of the trenches because there's other trenches to come. But I'm out of the first trench. Yeah. That first 4 weeks was rough. Yeah. Okay. That was rough. Right.
Before we get to there, talk me through pregnancy. How was that whole process like? Was it something that you guys sat down and were like, okay, we're going to go for it? We're doing it, we're getting it done? Or did it kind of happen unexpectedly? Or how was that whole process?
We've wanted it for a minute.
Okay, cool.
And it didn't happen.
That makes me so happy. I don't even know why. I'm just like, oh, great. Go on.
We've wanted it for a minute. Okay. And it didn't happen. It didn't happen in the speed that we thought it would happen. And I haven't said this like in a public domain before, but we found out we were pregnant 2 days before I was about to start IVF.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was at that point of like, okay, this hasn't happened, so maybe there's some assistance here.
Okay.
So let's do this. And made the appointment, everything, blah, blah, blah. And you get like one free round on NHS or something like that, innit? So let's just use our free round.
Sure, why not?
Yeah. And then I get back, I was on a cruise working. And I was like, you know, wondering if it's happened now.
Yeah.
Has the seed started to grow? Has it been fertilized? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because all the other things hadn't happened yet.
Yeah.
And I get back and I took a test and I was like, babe, I think I'm pregnant. It's like, you think? Like the test blatantly said, pregnant. And I was like, I think I'm pregnant.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, so we wanted it for a while and then we found out 2 days before we were about to...
That's incredible.
Go down that road. Yeah, absolutely incredible.
Wow. That whole process pre-discovering you're pregnant, what was that like? Was there a sense of frustration or were you just quite open to whatever the road was going to be, that's what it was going to be? You know?
Some months were frustrating.
Yeah.
And then you spend, because I used to think to myself, I spent so much time in my 20s trying to prevent this thing from happening.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what we're taught and told.
Yeah, exactly. And then now I'm like, yeah, let's go. It's not happening. So yeah, so many lifestyle changes and like trying different things.
Yeah.
And then just reaching this point of like, okay, cool.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
What was your what was it like looking at this pregnancy stick? Because like mine, I was gonna say, I don't know what I thought it was gonna be, but when I saw it, I was just like, Max, I think you're pregnant. It wasn't the big, oh my God, we did it. Little, like, it wasn't any of that kind of stuff. So what was your initial reaction to it?
It was...
And how did you feel?
I think I didn't actually believe it. I probably took about 10 after that.
Wow, okay.
So I went to shop and bought like the other one, then I bought the other expensive one. Then I bought the other expensive one. You know what I mean? Just to make sure like, it was definitely 30. But yeah, it was like... I think I'm pregnant. Like it didn't sink in because why am I saying I think?
Yeah,
when the test is blatantly saying
you are.
You are.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was just disbelief, kind of like we want it so long and it's finally here. What? Okay,
it's here.
And then I came back at like some stupid o'clock in the morning.
Okay,
because you know, like it was a US Caribbean cruise, so like we've flown from Miami and I've got into the airport like I don't know 4, 5. So I've come home and Ree's like still clean sleep, and I'm like, babe, I think I'm pregnant. What did Ree? I think he said yes, Ja, or something like that. He said something like that immediately, and then we had a joke and laughed about it and went back to sleep. And then we woke up, was like, it's actually not a dream. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Oh, no, that's great. That's amazing.
It was sweet.
What was your first trimester like? What was that with you adjusting to what was happening to you? Do you have any symptoms or anything like that? Or were you pretty chill?
Just strong nausea.
Same.
I actually went to Japan in my first trimester. And that was my last trip.
Okay.
And that was nerve-wracking.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's obviously it's a long flight and then you're just so far away from home.
Yeah.
And, you have the natural fears of whatever, what if. I was literally like... And we were doing like... I'm in a band called Incognito and we had like a residency at the Blue Note Tokyo. And we are doing 2 shows a night. Jet lag.
Intense, yeah.
So I was literally like getting up, having this big breakfast of champions, going back to sleep, then going to sound check for the gig and literally not going out. No, because I thought to myself, I'm not risking anything.
Fair enough.
I need to rest. Yeah. And the first trimester was so chill. Good. Just strong nausea. I didn't throw up.
Yeah.
I didn't have anything like out of the ordinary besides nausea and tiredness.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay.
And then I put most of the tiredness to jet lag when I got back as well.
Sure. Okay.
And it was pretty chill. And I don't know, throughout my whole pregnancy, I wasn't like, feeling any like major sickness. I took CMOS the whole way through. I swear by that, by the way. Yeah. I
am definitely team CMOS.
Yeah.
I'm just not as consistent as I would like to be.
Right,
That's the thing. But that's dope to hear as well. Like you took it throughout.
Whole pregnancy.
Amazing.
And I think it balanced out a lot.
Nice.
Yeah.
CMOS is amazing.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, cool.
So first trimester was cool.
Yeah. Second, how was that for you?
It was same.
Yeah, second trimester, I was like, I am the sexiest woman alive.
Is it?
I was
You
like,
felt...
I don't know. The thing, my first wasn't terrible at all. Nausea, tiredness as well, sure. I didn't throw up or anything like that, but my tiredness would just, I would just drop asleep. Doesn't matter what I was doing, I was out. Like, I'm like, and I've never had that before. And then even thinking about women who are in an office, I don't even know how you do that because you have things to do and deliverables in the office space.
Yeah.
So when my buddy said, okay, Rach, we're gone. Okay, that's it. So second one, I think I just felt more maybe energetic. I was still going to gym and working, whatever else. But I was like, look at me, I'm amazing. It was
glowing.
Yeah, so that was my second. I don't know if that hits for people second and third or just second. I don't know. So I'm always curious about how that part was for people.
Second, you know what? I think I don't really feel that anything stuck out to me about the second trimester. Just my body changing, shape and size, and trying to mask it like to certain people and certain spaces.
Fair.
Not ready to tell people till like we were like 5 months or so, whatever.
Okay.
But I remember the third trimester though, like sleeping was so hard.
Fair.
Like the hips.
Yeah. Okay.
The
Pelvic
hips was
pains and
numb. Like I felt like. Gosh, I felt like a granny. No offense to grandmothers, but I felt like my hips are just every night I was up. I was eating like 3 a.m. in the morning. I'm downstairs making big sandwich. Like it was just that I couldn't really rest much because my body was just carrying this, beautiful little girl.
There you go.
But yeah, it was a lot. The third trimester was a lot for me. In terms
was it weird seeing your body change?
Insane.
Right.
Because I felt like my belly was, and everyone probably feels that about theirs, but my belly was massive.
Yeah.
Like massive.
It didn't seem it when I saw you for whatever stages that you were. It looked as it should.
Yeah, but maybe because it's just, obviously what can I compare it to, innit? Is your body changing this way? It's never changed before, so I'm just like... Yeah, but then it's like family members like, your belly biggie, your belly, you sure you're not having twins? I was like, please don't say that. Sure, there's not another one hiding in there. No, yeah, but it was massive. So I used to think to myself, wow, like, never knew it was going to feel like this.
Yeah.
Humongous.
Yeah. In terms of like your prep for, I guess, all things pregnancy, whether it's your diet or not, and then prep for entering birth, what was that like for you? Did you use any techniques or any coping methods to help you through? Like, I guess typically people kind of say hypnobirthing, if anything, but did you?
Yeah, hypnobirthing. Yeah. We were both quite like interested about that method, and really into it. However, as much as I say throughout the whole pregnancy was chill and I wasn't ill, they did. When I had my glucose test, they told me that I had gestational diabetes.
Same, yeah.
And then they were concerned about the fluid around the baby, and then concerned about the size of the baby, and then like as being a mature mom, and then the pressure just started to, like, they wanted to induce. So the hypnobirthing thing started slowly getting lost.
Okay.
That was my hope and dream, to have like a really cool, chill water birth. Yeah. And then C-sections conversations started to come up more and more every time I went to the hospital. Yeah. And then it just never ended. Like they just kept calling me like, can we induce you? Can we induce you? Can we induce you? Can we induce you? So it was a lot in that side of things. Yeah. So I think what I thought of in my head of a way to combat my fear of birth was hypnobirthing, but I didn't actually get to experience it the way that I wanted to. Yeah.
In terms of you not experiencing that the way that you wanted to, I guess, and the pressure that is placed upon you is insane. Yeah. It really is. I had gestational diabetes at 37 weeks, and I was a bit like, oh well, I'm near the end. It's annoying that it's appeared. Cool. Then the conversation started to switch towards more inductions, which I didn't want to have unless it was necessary. I really wanted to give myself the shot of doing it as naturally as I can. Sure. Then I ended up booking an induction essentially for the conversation to end. And then we left the room and Max was like, you just booked that and you didn't want to do that. Like, it just reminded me of what it is I wanted and why have I gone down this road. Yeah. And it's so true. And it kind of gave me the extra support that I needed to kind of call and try and cancel it. And that took forever to do. And then the conversation to cancel it was, again, ridiculous. It was with a dietitian who was checking to make sure that I'm on track for all things to kind of keep the my glucose levels down. And I want to get this done. Oh, are you sure? Like, you know, the risk of the size of the baby being too big or being too small. You know, if you decide to not to induce your baby, like your baby could die. You prepared to deal with that? And I was
heard it all.
I'm having to sit there going, yeah, yes, I am. I mean, I'm dying and sweating inside because you're not supposed to, I don't know, speak back to these authoritative figures. Like, they're the people who know this field and this space. So who are you to kind of combat that, really? But it was just having to make sure that whatever you've decided or whatever you want to do, try and give yourself the best opportunity to do that. And I'm not having to convince you to kind of back me on that, rather than us coming to a space where it's collaborative or letting me lead where possible.
Yeah.
So that was insane. But I was like, I definitely had someone say to me that my baby could die. That's great. And I'm having to agree to that, which is wild.
Yeah.
But like, you ending up, what did you end up doing in the end? Because I actually but I don't know.
No, because so they said to me they wanted to induce me from 38 weeks. And I was trying to hold out to at least
my face.
Yeah, okay. Because you went through the same thing, didn't you?
Yeah. But it's like, at least let's get to full term and then. But anyway.
Yeah. And babe, the amount of time I left the hospital in tears.
Oh man.
Like Ray will tell you, like in tears because of certain things. Your baby will die, and You just know that it's gonna. If you go down this road, you are gonna cause this. Do you know what I mean? It was like it was, so, and also one of my best friends is a doula.
Yeah.
And it was amazing to have that support. Shout out the Most Sacred Journey.
Okay.
And it was, even with all that support. And with the most amazing supportive partner, every time I went to hospital, it would just break me down.
Yeah.
Like, so I ended up agreeing to an elective C-section.
Okay.
Or at 40 plus 6.
Okay.
To give my body time to go into natural labour.
Yeah.
So we were at home sitting on a ball.
Okay.
And doing little stretches and stuff like that. And baby girl said no. I'm not coming.
Not ready yet.
So I had a C-section.
Okay.
But I had an elective C-section and it was lovely.
Good.
Like in terms of the atmosphere in the room, we got to play our own music. The surgeons that we had that day were amazing, spoke us through everything.
That's great.
Every step of the way. Really informative, just really reassuring. And it was a lovely experience.
Okay, good. I'm glad.
It was a lovely experience because I did what I was trying to avoid was induction, number one, because they always end up most of the time in C-section anyway, and then secondly an emergency C-section. Yeah, if she, baby girl didn't want to move out of the residence,
which
but
I can appreciate. 'Cause it's nice and it's warm and you can do what you want.
Exactly.
When you want.
Exactly.
Kick whatever you want to kick.
Yeah.
It's fine. I get it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So because of her, they said the fluid around her, they said of her weight, she ended up being 8 pounds.
Okay.
And they were just like, yeah.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. I mean, I'm glad that you were able to have as much of what you wanted with the changes that you had to face, I too wanted a water bath. Maybe I will have a water bath one day.
Yeah.
But I was in the delivery suite and don't worry, there'll be a pool there, it's fine. I got there, there are no pools available.
Brilliant.
Great. So I was in the shower, which the water did help, but it was funny when I was told that, yes, there's no more baths. Oh, don't worry, the water does nothing anyway. And I was like, you don't know that. Man. You don't know.
Guys.
But like, the hospital was dope. It was great. It really, really was. But it was just those little frustrations. But I guess, again, with this being something I've never done before, there's an element of this unknown and having to be open to the fact that this could go either what way, and having to surrender to that as well, and trying to stay calm and just concentrate on what it is that you're trying to do. So with me, we ended up discovering that I had 3 fibroids, which I didn't know I had, but there were 2 that were super tiny. They weren't really worried about, but there was one that was growing with baby, so there was the possibility of that blocking baby's exit.
Same.
Right?
Same.
So then it was like, okay, so a C-section could happen.
Yeah.
And if it did, it would be an emergency. So rather than being in the birthing suite, I would have to be in the delivery suite. So I'll be closer to the theatre.
Yeah.
And even if I didn't have to have a C-section, that's fine. But there's a possibility that I would bleed quite a lot. So I just needed to be closer, I guess, to that space. So you kind of had those, not quite worries, but concerns, or just being aware of the things that could happen, and then trying to plan for the best possible outcome as well. So there was elements of that, and then having to, okay, we're here now, she's coming, so we just have to ride it out and things. But yeah, How long was your procedure from start to finish with the C-section? I never quite know.
Literally, it was so quick.
Yeah.
It was so quick. I want to say like no more than 40 minutes.
Wow.
Literally. Yeah.
Basically.
If you can call it that.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally like no more than 40 minutes.
Yeah. How much could you feel with everything that's happening?
Couldn't feel a thing besides my body doing this.
Okay.
Like,
was that weird or not?
Yeah, it was so weird.
Yeah.
And hearing them say like, oh, it's a big baby. It's a big baby. You know, lots of hair. And that's all I remember. Like that. One of the people in the room, like not a surgeon, but one of the doctors actually filmed the whole thing as well, which was
amazing.
nice. So helpful.
Yeah.
So I've got that video, and I'm just like this.
Jiggling
You can't
away.
see anything, but I'm just like,
Just wiggles.
yeah.
That's one thing I regret. We didn't film. Max kind of filmed, I think, them passing baby to me because of the position I was in. But after I was like, I should have filmed it. I don't know why.
You didn't? Okay.
We never
right.
made a decision. I don't even know why or what happened for us not to.
Yeah.
But I wish we did. So I'm glad you've got that.
Which way did you go? Did you go vaginal or
vaginal, pop it out, 4 and a bit hours as I keep hitting the microphone. I should know better. 4.5 hours.
Yeah.
And it was all very quick. So in terms of things like pain relief, I stuck to gas and air. I to this day I can't tell you if it really made a difference or not, because I don't know if I had enough time for it to build up in me to offer real pain relief, because it was just like, no, I was in there feeling all the things, which is again what it is. But yeah, I didn't have a ring of fire situation as some people might say when the baby's crowning.
Really?
But I definitely felt like twinges when her shoulders popped out.
All
like
right.
Bam, bam, and then she was out. But yeah, so on all fours, kind of on my knees and hanging onto the bed. And yeah, and then she was out. But yeah, like, what did it feel like holding her for the first time?
It was. I was in shock.
Yeah.
I think that those first 4 weeks, I was still in shock. You know.
Yeah.
That's why it was just like. I really think I was still in shock because I was just more dutiful. Like, okay, a milk, feed, change. When she's having her first bath, like all the things, like the first little milestones and stuff, like was just felt like now it feels like such a blur. But at the time it was just like checklist. It was like it was crazy. But holding her for the first time was a shock. It was I was like, hello, and she just looking.
Yeah.
She just looked and she came and she was sucking her fingers, like almost like she was self-soothing from the jump. I was like, what? It's just weird, isn't it? It's just such a mind boggle. You don't think so, because it's like, my human, my darling, my daughter is just gonna be so like. But I was in shock for a bit. I was just like, wow.
I think not the first time I held her, but I definitely remember having a moment where I was looking at her and she was looking right back at me as intently as I was looking at her.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, you're a little bastard.
Yeah.
Like, obviously. Which is like, duh.
Yeah.
But it was just like this moment of like, no, she's really real and she's really here.
Yeah.
And she's paying as much attention
real,
to you as
yeah.
Yeah. That was nuts. I mean, she's here now and this is your new space and your new world. How are you finding motherhood? Based on some of the things that people tell you, family may have told you, which is just going to lead swiftly into vexation for Veronica, because she is all the things. But how are you finding motherhood?
It's nothing like I thought it would be for several reasons. Nothing could have prepared me at all.
Yeah.
How am I finding it? It's a journey. Like it's a beautiful journey, and I'm just obsessed with her now. But it's just unlike anything I've experienced. Like it's actually like quite surreal. It's still surreal to me. It's still surreal to me. Because I you know, like the feeling of like being so obsessed with this little tiny human.
Yeah.
The level of obsession you've never had before.
Yeah. It hasn't stopped. And mine is too. So
yeah.
Go on. Yeah.
For anything or anyone.
Yeah.
But it feels beautiful, man.
Yeah.
It really does. I'm so glad. I'm glad that I'm here, and equally so glad that I waited.
Okay. Amazing. Why is that?
Because I just feel like I wasn't ready before.
Okay.
Emotionally as well. And just the way life was, you know, then for several reasons. But like, yeah, just so glad that it happened in this time.
Okay.
And at this stage of my life. Because I feel like I have so many more tools now.
Yeah.
And I have so many more lessons that I've learned and learning.
Yeah.
So it feels like I've got so much more to give her.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's dope. Okay. Like, what does work look like for you now? And I guess I ask that because with how we work in this creative space, there's no real thing as, say, maternity leave or this time off, unless you decide you're going to cover at this time, etc. Are you back to work yet?
Yeah, I have been going back to work, yeah.
How are you finding this space now, juggling motherhood and the career side of it already?
Yeah, it's tricky because obviously you can't just say yes to everything. And obviously it's just a lot more organising to do. It just feels very different. And makes you just want to pick and choose things that you're doing now. Is it going to make me happy? Is it going to deposit in my bank account the way that it needs to?
There we go.
Is it going to make a shift?
There you go. No, perfect, as it should.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, I think same. Definitely now. Is it worth my time?
Yeah.
Because when I leave her, I'm never getting that time back.
Yeah, exactly.
So is it going to compensate in some way, like healthily, in the way that it needs to? So yeah, I couldn't agree more.
It's just all of those, all of the above, really.
Yeah.
And it's hard. I think it's tough because there's the things I've had to let go of because I can't do it in the capacity that I was doing it before.
Okay.
And that has one of the things that, you know, one of the things I had to let go of was quite hurtful because when you invest in something for a long period of time, and you have to let it go, it's always like bittersweet. Even though I know it's for the best, however, I can't commit how I was before, and I don't want to.
Fair, okay.
But it's still like, it's a part of you that you have to kind of like mourn or let go of, and find other ways of doing what you do, where you can be a bit more close proximity to little one. Because I think most of the things I was doing before was hardly here. Like, it was hardly in London.
Yeah, okay.
Like, having a gig in London used to be a bonus. It was always abroad.
Okay.
So, yeah, just navigating that has been a bit tough, but it's for the best.
Yeah.
And,
sorry, you've already made a decision, but why am I trying to like... So how about... I was going to say, do you see little one traveling with you or on travels for certain things for work, if that makes sense?
You know what? It's interesting because I do yes and no.
Okay.
Like, I've had conversations about opportunities that have come up, like end of this month, end of next month, to go to like the Middle East and really far with her and with Dad.
Yeah.
But I just feel like it's too much.
Okay.
Right now.
All right, fair enough.
And some people would argue that it's like it's the best time because she's not really going to remember it. But when I think of like the long flights and like her being, I'm obviously I'm a new sensitive mum in it, so I'm like, no, it's not fair to be on the plane for 11 hours. Poor thing. I'm sorry, baby. You know what I mean? When I think of it, I've said no twice because I just felt like it wasn't fair for her.
All right.
And that's a few things that are coming up for me. Putting her in those type of positions and uncomfortable spaces. I think the old me would just be like, just go and do your gig. If my friend was saying this to me before I had children, I'd be like, just go and do your gig. What, they're paying for you and your partner and a baby to come. Babe, just go and do it. Yeah. And some of my friends have been like, babe, just do it. Yeah. I'm just like, I don't think I want to.
Okay.
Yeah.
And fair enough, if that's the decision, the choice, that's how you feel, that's also what it is, and that's absolutely fine. Yeah. But it's nuts, no? I think the things that you'd have been like, sure, and not. I kind of found myself, I had to speak to a few friends. I think I've said this before, actually, on the pod before, where I had to almost go and apologise to a few friends because they may have made maybe similar decisions on a whole range of different things. They wouldn't come out to certain things or go to certain places or whatever. Yeah. Because they've got a kid. And I was like, no, I get it, but the dad is there, or you can do this, thinking I'm being helpful. But now as a mum, I realized, do you know what, you're gonna make certain decisions that people might not understand or
You're
agree.
gonna, yeah.
And I think people won't necessarily get certain things because it's like, you don't want to mess up the schedule or the this or the that for the baby. So if you're going to miss out on certain stuff, that's just what it is and you're fine with it. But the externals might not, and they don't quite get it. So when I became a mom and I realized I was turning down certain things or saying no certain things, I had to call, and I was named Siobhan. I love you. I remember speaking to my friend Siobhan saying, babe, I'm so sorry, because there were times when you made certain decisions and I just didn't understand, like, oh my gosh, like, the baby will be fine, like, it'd be okay. No, it's good for you to come out. Blah, blah. And it's like, those weren't necessarily her motivators, like her not wanting to come out or whatever else. But that's what I assumed it was, thinking you just needed that bit of encouragement or that extra push to get you out or whatever else. But I don't understand. I didn't know. I didn't know what I didn't know. And I didn't know what it took to raise a kid, or I didn't know what the day was like if something goes out of sync, how then that impacts the whole day or the whole schedule or whatever else.
Yeah.
So it's like, whatever decision you need to make, if that's what works for you and your family, perfect.
Yeah, and we're talking about exactly, and we're talking about going to like somewhere like, for argument's sake, somewhere like Korea for one gig. And for me, that's just too much. If it was like a week residency or like another Blue Note situation, cool, because that makes more sense. But like, to go all of that way for one gig to then sleep one night and travel back to London, for me that just felt like
a lot.
Oh gosh, no.
And are you breastfeeding at the moment as well?
No, not anymore.
Yeah,
but it just felt like, but I have 3 months, 4 months. Nah, man.
Fair enough. And it's a lot, the things that you take because you think you will need or you might need. And if you're not sure about the country or what their medical system is like or what you're comfortable with or not comfortable with, it's...
And the plane.
That and the people, and people want to touch your baby, come into your baby's face. There's a lot of moving parts.
No,
so
I'm not
like,
doing it.
You're not doing it.
Yeah.
So whatever you're ready for, as and when you're ready for it, yes, go for it.
Yeah, maybe in a few months' time, but not yet.
Yeah, fair enough. How has motherhood impacted your creativity, if at all?
It shifted from like going into more content creation than like writing music.
Okay.
I don't feel the urge to write music.
Okay. Is that surprising?
Yeah, it is actually. I don't have that urge right now. Okay. But in terms of like ideas for content creation to do with filming and comedy and acting and stuff, like, yeah, like that's gone like tenfold now.
Amazing. Okay, this is a great segue to lead into. I'm currently pointing at her merch, which I would love for you to raise up for everybody to see. Can you talk me through this this lady? Because
Vexation Veronica.
There we go. I remember seeing, there's a skit here about just different things. Cracked me up. Funny. Great. Love it. This whole like introduction into you being a mum and Veronica saying her, like, talk me through all of that, because it is exceptional behaviour. I absolutely love it. Genuinely. So what happened?
Oh, do you know what? I started writing when I was pregnant.
Yeah.
I started writing like script writing scenarios to merge Vexation Veronica and Cherri V. And the reason why is because for years I've been doing Vexation Veronica on and off for years, like probably about 10 years. Wow. And the thing is, the problem I was always at war with myself, because I had people that would like gravitate to Vexation Veronica more than they would gravitate to my music. Okay. And I felt like I was upset about that for a long time, because I felt like I would drop a content for Vexation Veronica and it would do like a certain amount of numbers, and like, I would see some people like that I know, and they'll the first thing they talk to me about, that thing you done the other day, but I just released a whole album, it's another. Do you know what I mean?
Got you. Yeah.
So it's just like, I was at war with myself and I had to get out of my own way. Okay. And then when I was pregnant, I was writing scripts about her hearing the new music and me making a transition into like doing more reggae inspired lovers rock music, and her reaction to that. And I never actually filmed it. I scripted it, I wrote it down, but I didn't film it. But as my daughter was born, Like within the first 2 months, they started coming back to me.
Okay.
And then one day I just decided to do one about the wind thing. And then because that got so much traction, a light bulb just went up and was like, you're onto something here. People kept saying to me, you're onto something here, you know, like, and then like, you know, like your aunties and your friends and your long lost cousins and stuff and things that people ain't spoken to for years, getting in contact saying, you're in my group chat. Someone just sent me this. My mum just sent me this. My gran just sent me this. Like, how did you capture this so well? But it's like, Vexation Veronica is, I call her my alter ego, but she is everyone I have encountered from a young child up until even now. Like my great grandma, elders in church, aunties, my mum and dad are literally natural comedians anyway. So I get a lot of that source from them. My mum is like the person who does the impressions in the family. Like, do such and such, do Sister Brendan in the family church, do Pastor Deacon did it. Do you know what I mean? She was that person in the family that would do that stuff. And my gran, who is still with us now, she does that whole thing of going from patois to Cockney in a heartbeat, like, and has mastered it so well that when my friends hear it for the first time, they're like, "What is that? what does that even mean?" So yeah, she is just like a melting pot of all the people that I've encountered, and the comedic side of me, I guess, just gets thrown in there, and just the marriage between her and Cherri, just seemed to work.
Amazing. No, it's like, it's, as you just described, is every woman or every elder that I've ever met who's had something to say about any woman who's ever carried a kid or had a kid.
What
you're doing, what you're not doing, what they did back in the day. That's my mum. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's so much. So when I say to you, it melts my heart and it cracks me up in a way, because it's just, I just switch up the accent sometimes to have a Ghanaian accent in my face.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it's like, it's so relatable. I'm not surprised that it's touched so many people, because it's so everyday. And it's stuff that we can still cuss our mums and aunties about, and they can cuss us right back about it. Do you know what I mean? It's just, it's so everyday. So I'm looking forward to seeing more about her. And now we obviously have merch, which is phenomenal. I love that. And people are buying it, obviously, right?
Listen, I'm so surprised. I'm like, but you know, it's so funny. That's why when you get inkling about something, sometimes just act on it.
Yeah, 100%.
Do you know what I mean? Just act on it, because I thought about it before and I had the vision in my head for what it would look like. And I just knew Jermaine Riley designed it. I just knew he'd be the only person to capture that.
Good.
But just like few people started to say it, we need something. We need something. We need something with a catchphrase on it. We need something. And I was just like, boom, let's go. Like, supply and demand. Like, let's get it out there and see what happens. And I'm just like, okay, I can actually buy myself a cup of coffee with this.
There you go.
From Gales or Starbucks. You know what I mean?
Are you surprised at how easy it is as well
to sell merch?
Well, this whole avenue of content creation.
Yes.
Yeah,
I am. And the gag is, and the joke is, when I went to Brit School and all that stuff, my major was drama, because that was what I wanted to be an actress.
Okay.
Initially, because I just thought, all right, cool. I come from a family of singers. Like, I want to be an actress, and then on one day I'm just gonna get them go, oh, and everyone's like, you can sing as well. I'm like, yeah. But obviously, naturally, it just happened the other way around. But the thing I love about, like, you know, content creation and acting and stuff like that is that it doesn't have an age limit on it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
So
for sure.
It's nice to explore that in this way. And I have crazy dreams for Vexation Veronica.
Love that.
And I believe that a lot of what I have in my mind is going to come to pass.
That's what I want to hear. And I am excited for you, and I can't wait to see it all. Like,
thanks.
Do it. Like, I don't know what it's been like for you, but motherhood definitely also just gives you this kind of feel. And I don't know if it's a case of, and this might not be the case for you or for anyone else, whatever, but I think there's so much more. You're doing so much for yourself. That's great. But for me, something that definitely motivates me is knowing that I'm doing it for her too.
Yeah.
Or for her to see that it can be done.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, if you have any of that fueling you, I already know. So I'm super excited to see what happens. Typically, I tend to ask people, what project have you started since you became a mum? And I kind of feel like motherhood always generates a new thing. So I don't know if it's content creation in this way or if there's something completely new that you haven't spoken about at all. Like there's always a new project attached to a child for some reason. I don't know why.
I think it's the content, the series of parenting old school versus new school. Because I've heard the most since I became pregnant and since I had her. the most.
Lovely.
And it could be a stranger on the street.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, it could be one Rasta man that has a piece of wisdom to share. You know,
I must to share.
Yeah.
With you. Must.
Yes, Empress. Yes, literally. So I think that has been the fuel.
Okay.
That motherhood has been the fuel. Motherhood has been the fuel for that, because now I'm in this space, and I can feel what I believe some things to be ridiculous and some things to be like old golden rules that are still apply, because there's a lot of like things that Vexatia Veronica says that like sounds ridiculous, but I don't disagree with it.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm playing two sides of the coin, but there's a lot of what she says from, you know, that time and old school remedies and blah blah blah, holistic stuff, homeopathic remedies that I do believe in.
Yeah.
And then there's also some of the new school stuff that I don't believe in, but I get to share and explore both of those things with that content. And it's so, it just blows my mind, like just a reaction to that, and just knowing that shift has happened just from becoming a mum. Like just a slight shift, because doing what you're doing before, but just like a slight pivot almost, like okay, cool, we're gonna center it around this without it being like overbearing, like just being something fun that everyone can digest and laugh at and still have an endearing feel to it.
No, that's dope. That's ace. One thing that's kind of been like playing on my mind a little bit with all this, if we circle back a bit, just to, I guess, your experience hospital-wise when they were advocating for all things induction or what have you there, and how it left you feeling with the whole period of, you know, the pressure of being induced, or they'd like you to be, and this is why, whatever else, and how it left you feeling. As you said, every time you'd have an appointment, you'd go home back in tears, even though you knew what you wanted to do, right? I guess, I almost want to ask you, how did you navigate that space? Because I feel like I didn't. I almost want to explore that a bit more, just to understand, like, just how difficult those spaces and conversations can be, but you still have to deal with that. Does that make sense? It's a random question.
I think it's all about like the village per se. I'm grateful to have like some honest friends. Because I think a lot of, dare I say, there are a lot of women who are not honest about certain things to do with motherhood.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. Please say yes. He would be lying. Period.
And I'm grateful to have some honest friends. Who will tell me like it is, and also that, babe, it's fine. You know, like, I did this, is fine. And they know they talk about survivor bias, and because one person did it, that means it's going to be okay for you. But, like, just, like, to affirm me in many ways. And I can't stress enough, like, having a partner that is so, like, supportive and that will advocate for you. Like, he was with me, like, you know, like some partners would go into hospital and they come out and be like, well, you need to listen to what the doctor said, because doctor like, he was like, trust how you feel and your instincts, like, I've got you, do you know what I mean? And that was so empowering. And that, for me, that's like, that's priceless. And he didn't inject fear into me. Because, you know, sometimes you can speak to people and they'll be like, well, I know you've got your idea of this, but I think you should. You know, like, he made me feel strong in the things that I wanted and the things that I wanted to work towards. And our compromise was, you know, waiting till 40+6 to see if naturally things will progress. And then I would surrender to, you know what I mean? Because I was not trying to be out here, you know, just standing on a hill just to prove a point either. But equally, I wanted to give her a chance to say, hey, I'm ready to come now. Do you know what I mean? So honest friends, the village, having a very, very lots of conversations and educations from my bestie who's a doula. And that was priceless as well, because getting two sides of the coin, you're getting like the medical side of it, the holistic side of it, and also just like it's a genuine friendship of support from a friend that just saying like, you know, this is the facts, this is what we believe, this is what they believe, how do you feel? It's all the things mixed in one. So I think that's the only way I was being. And there were some people that I knew I couldn't talk to about certain things. And they were on the list of like, I can't talk to you about that because I know how you're going to react, and that's not going to be good for me. And we had that agreement between me and my partner had that agreement between us, like, we're not going to talk about this person about that because it's just going to be fear-mongering, scaremongering. Do you know what I mean? It's just too much. But it was hard. It was hard because the age thing is a big thing. And if you're not in your late teens, early 20s, late 20s, it's like if you're past that point, it's just like, your age, you're old, you're a mature mother. You know what I mean?
Mother.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's just like, it's like almost like they want to say to you, why did you wait so long to do this? You're making it more difficult for yourself.
None of your goddamn business.
Yeah, exactly.
And life. Or whatever your reasons were. It doesn't matter. We're here now. What we doing?
Yeah, exactly.
Let's just focus on that anyway.
So, I think the village and the partnership and... without them, it would have been hard because I felt like I couldn't stop talking. I felt like it was always something like, what do you think about this? And I just wanted to, I just wanted to talk all the time. And sometimes you people that draw close to you that are mums already, you just don't expect. Because I've had a few people that I've gotten closer to just from becoming a mum. Because now we share the same experience, whether that be family or none. Do you know what I mean? So
that's nice. That's beautiful when your community grows in a certain way that you didn't anticipate, and there's just more support in other spaces that you didn't really anticipate. So that's nice to hear. Like yes, we talk about the village and all that kinds of stuff, but it truly is. It's everything, and it really makes the biggest difference to, as you said, whatever decisions or choices you're making. It's great knowing that there's someone else who went through the same thing or made those same choices, and even if you're choosing not to share stuff with certain people, like even for those to even understand that, like, it's not my place to be involved in this and let me leave you to figure that space for yourself. That's dope. That's really, really great. With all things motherhood thus far, what I tend to ask people this one as well, like, what are your biggest loves, biggest hates even, or biggest challenges so far?
So both questions. What are you...
Loves? Love, hate, and challenge. Hate is a bit of a much one, but loves and challenges. What are your biggest, like... that.
I love the fact.
The fact?
I love the fact. I love the fact that I'm gonna see the world through her. Like all the excitement and all the newness.
It's so much fun. I can't be like, it's brilliant.
Yeah, there's so many things I can't wait for. Like even now, and us two together, like we want to, take her everywhere. You just want to take her everywhere. Like I love that. And I just, you know what? I just love, she wakes up and she smiles at us. Like, as soon as we say, good morning, she just smiles. She's got the two biggest dimples, Her smile in the morning, any type of sleep deprivation or anything, it's gone out the window. Like, and then I just never thought I'd be the one to say it. But it is. Like, her smile is the best. Like, it just known that, I think it's because it just makes me feel like she's happy. And I just feel like we're just doing a great job then. If she looks and smiles like that and it feels so happy, then yes, like I feel like we're doing a good job.
Smashing it.
Yeah, just that smile alone. My hates, motherhood.
If any, I mean, it might be.
I don't think it's developed yet.
Okay.
I don't think
and hopefully it won't either. Let's just leave it at that. Yeah. Biggest challenge thus far?
The newborn stage.
Yeah.
The first trench.
Okay.
Yeah,
which you've come out of now.
Yeah, that was rough.
What was rough about it?
Just like the sleep deprivation, and just not
knowing.
Not knowing what was up. Like, you know, like if she was like crying and like for whatever discomfort or like not feeling satisfied from breast milk, then do we introduce formula? The harsh reality of difficulty with breastfeeding that I found. Just so many different things that I struggled with in the first 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Bonding, latching, all that stuff.
Yeah. Did you get any assistance with that?
I did, and it just still wasn't. I think the problem for me was that I really struggled with her using me as a pacifier.
Okay.
I struggled with that because she just wanted to have the boob in her mouth all night. All night. And I was like, no. And that was before, like, she didn't have a dummy or anything. Okay. So that was her pacifier. So it's like, I tried every position, and obviously I had to have the C-section, so I was in pain. Oh my gosh, so I'm online and doing the whole. When I found the side one, I was like, wow, I can do this. Yeah. And then like, she's feeding, she's falling asleep. I'm gonna fall asleep. Then if it slips out of her mouth, all hell breaks loose. Really? These little legs are kicking my C-section wound, and then she's kicking off. And you put it back on. She's not even drinking. She just. And I'm just like, all night. No.
Okay.
So yeah,
the biggest takeaway, is that necessary? I don't know, but I tend to do that one too.
Biggest takeaway from motherhood.
Yeah, thus far. Yeah, so far.
It's just constant.
Yeah, relentless.
It is constant.
Yeah,
it's beautiful.
Yeah,
but it's constant, and nothing can prepare you.
There we go.
It's constant, and nothing can prepare you. Yeah. Remember me tell you.
Nothing can.
Yeah.
I think on that note, I want to call it. I feel like I just have to get you back for another episode, really.
You got everything you need?
That's what I'm saying. Do you know what I mean? Like, I want to ask all the things. I've asked all the things. But I still want to, what do I want? I want more. What do I want?
Yeah, but what's happening with you recently or lately? Or
me?
Can you update your support system, your village, your tribe, your listeners, your watchers? What have you been going with you?
Do you know what? Okay. What's been happening? I don't know, which is not true. Let me see. So, I mean, anyone who's been following anything knows that I've been super gassed about coming to a new space, a new studio for the podcast.
This is amazing.
So I'm so happy.
This is amazing.
Do you know what I mean? And the first year and a bit has been phenomenal. Just watching the podcast grow and understand what direction it's going to go into and the types of women and people who are happy to get involved and share their stories has been so incredible. And I've learned so much, and just understanding what birth has been like for people, whether it's someone who's done it more recently or further back, just understanding the changes in the system and things like that. That's been phenomenal. So the community surrounding this growing has been a blessing, something I just didn't anticipate in the way that it has been going. Dope. Work and a 2-year-old is interesting now.
Yeah.
Because now she's old enough to say, why are you going?
Right.
Don't go. And I'm now watching her process the fact that I'm away for however long and coming back. It was definitely... I will have to probably ask Max or check in with him again how he has found it.
Right.
Because he's been obviously going back and forth to work from forever with her, if that makes sense. Whereas with me now, it's more concentrated. I'm finding that, I'm really leaving her. So like it's just, it's an interesting transition to find myself in, is what I'm saying. I had my first trip without her, and that was weird because the start of the year I was away. We were away as a family for 6 and a bit weeks.
Yeah.
So 4 weeks in Thailand.
That looked beautiful, by the way.
Loved it. We were sick for every week somebody went down.
Is it?
Yeah. So like the last week felt like, the holiday.
Okay.
Then we came back and then we had 2.5 weeks in Jamaica, which was incredible. Jamaica is stunning. That was my first time going. Listen, beautiful. Yeah, I didn't know what to expect. Yes, sunshine. Yes, an island. Yeah, the beaches, whatever. Yeah. But just the vibe, the people, like it was truly, truly beautiful. So I was so happy that Zena was able to go and be there and meet more of her family from that side, and just seeing her barefoot and playing in the sun was just, this is what I want for you all the time. And she's just happy and free, and just off she went. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like here, we have to wait for summer to like kind of come for the 2 weeks that it gives us, and then we can have those moments. But it was surreal. So Jamaica was like an actual trip as well, and then to come home for a couple of days, and then I went away for a friend's birthday. So that was the first time ever I've left her.
How was that?
I think it was more difficult for me than it was for her. Like,
right.
It was just, okay, fine. I'm just like, go. I travel all the time, whatever, it's fine. But nighttime was weird, where we're co-sleeping at the moment.
Yeah.
So oddly, and I didn't see this coming, but oddly, I struggled to fall asleep because she wasn't near me or around.
Right,
I had to position the pillows in a certain way, because we were, with us being away for 6 and a bit weeks in hotels and things, like, I'm more mindful about how she's going to sleep, if she rolls over, or if she's going to fall off the bed or not, whatever. So I had to set my pillows up in a certain way, and then I felt a bit more at ease to fall asleep, which was bizarre. I didn't see that. What is that?
Bless.
But I missed her terribly.
Wow.
I was so excited to see her. Oh my God.
Of course.
And it was amazing. But Max he's such an advocate for like, go, she'll be fine. And I know this, I do.
Yeah.
But there's still the element of just like, I'm doing this, I'm itching myself. Just it's like an itch you can't quite scratch. That's what it felt like to me. So that was surreal.
And how long were you away for?
3 days.
Okay.
Bro.
Okay.
But still,
it was overnight though, isn't it? So it's the overnight bit.
That's the bit that I found really tricky. Then I came back, and then I had a couple of days off, and then I went straight into the production of a play. So then that was, again, probably my most concentrated amount of time where I'm definitely not home. So I don't know, 8 till 6 or 8 till 7, whatever it was. Yes, you do your check-ins and stuff, whatever else. But again, another adjustment for me to have, where I'm not seeing her for however long that is, and having her so excited to greet me at the door, which made everything worthwhile. Do you mean? So again, I feel like it's more me going through the things rather than her struggling with any attachment or whatever. A lot of the time
it is, yeah.
Bruh. So that was funny to see what kind of working mum I'm turning into, developing into. But there's going to be more of that, and there are going to be things that she can come to or not. So with her being taken aback a little bit, her being a baby, she came with me on pretty much most of my jobs, any sort of film and TV stuff, because I was breastfeeding at the time. So production made sure to, okay, what do I need and how are we going to make this work for you?
That's amazing.
Like, and I didn't know what to expect with that side of work. I knew if she was coming with me, I would organize it and deal with that. But I was very thankful that they were so involved in that space. So she's traveled quite a bit because she's come on jobs with us.
That's amazing.
Great. So now that she's a 2-year-old, like told her okay, she doesn't need to come. I'm not breastfeeding. She doesn't need me in that way. It's like, okay, I can leave her at home. I'm like, okay, Rach, you ready? I'm like, I don't know. Oh. And now she'll tell you like, well, I'm not a baby, I'm a little girl. And I'm like, no, wait, but you're still my baby, right?
Yeah,
oh my God.
Yeah.
So it's very funny watching those changes kind of happen. So that's what the first part of the year has been like thus far. But I mean, more things to come, like more podcast episodes and stuff like that. There's a book that God help me, that I am publishing. It's a children's book that I've written. Like, it's literally just nearly over the line, just having some back and forth with illustrations and things like that. But I'm super excited to get that out.
That's incredible.
Yeah, like, it's not something I ever thought that I would do.
Yeah.
And here we are. And like, it's the story's done, the images are done, it's just little tweaks. And reading it to Zena and her getting to experience that has been so amazing, watching it. And the story centers around, again, it's a little girl dealing with her mum working and her not being present, and what that's like and how that impacts her, and just knowing that that's very true to life and true to life for many other people. Yeah, it's exciting to kind of see that, okay, this is pretty much the finished copy, this is what it's going to be like. So that should be out, I think, by the end of, dare I even say a date, because at this rate, you know, when you're like,
things can change,
but it's
it'll be out this year.
110%. On the acting side of it all, Mate, all the things. There's a short film that I'm putting out. It is done. The team and the crew, the cast, everyone's assembled. It's now a case of, okay, when are we getting this done? So that's, again, for me, a whole different space and challenge. To have written something and to be acting in it, and then kind of seeing how that all comes together. So the whole process is going to be interesting. I can definitely be process orientated is the wrong word, but that I can geek out in those things. So I'm so curious to see what that's going to go from a script on the page to now on a screen somewhere. So that's super exciting. So those are things I've got to do.
That's
and then find time to sleep, my friends.
That is a lot. You're doing it.
And then laundry, because laundry is never ending.
Oh,
I don't know if you've entered that space.
Oh, babe, yeah, we've been there.
Never fucking ending.
We've been there for a very long time.
No, but it's not stopping.
Yeah, I know.
And I don't know why.
I know.
I don't know why I need to change.
I know.
But yeah. So that's me. Life. But yeah.
That's amazing, man.
Thank you so much. And like, guys, Cherri got me some like flowers to start off the day, and I got hella emotional. I'm always forever emotional. I don't know if that ever changes, ever ends.
Right.
But since having a kid, I'll cry at anything and everything. So just like, thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for your time today and for sharing.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Yeah, 110%. You're going to be back because
man.
there's something that's bugging me that I haven't asked you, and I don't know what it is.
Okay. Next time.
Innit? There we go. So there's a reason to have next time. But yeah, thank you so much for today.
Yes.
Cool. Oh, no, wait. Where can people find you? Things, stuff, Instagrams, all the stuff.
Oh, Cherri with an I, not a Y. Cherri, Voncelle. Just put Cherri V in and you should come up.
You'll find
see
her.
that face.
That's it.
And check out Vexation Veronica for old school parenting versus new school parenting.
Thank you. That's it.